Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Geekonomics. We're back. Another Monday, another snowstorm, another podcast. How you doing, Brian?
Oh,
Did you check
Mark,
your phone for important information?
I was checking my phone for something I'm going to talk about later on, but
Okay.
doing good because finally I get to use the electronic snow blower,
You got
which
an electronic one? Oh, man.
it's battery operated, and it is
Is
awesome.
it an Easy Go?
Yes, it's an Easy Go.
Yes.
I used it the last snowfall we had, which was in the beginning of the week. We had like 2 or 3 inches, and usually I just scoop all the snow off my driveway, and I'm out there for about 40 minutes when it's something light like that.
Yeah.
I got my driveway done in like 10 minutes. It was amazing. I felt good. I wasn't drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
I wasn't hunched over and my back killing me.
Hashtag old man problems.
Yeah, but like
Oh,
I finally joined the neighborhood because everyone has a snow blower. And today's the big one. We got almost a foot of snow coming our way. And I'm so pumped. Allison's just like, I'm sick of hearing it, Brian. I'm like, I'm gonna go out this time. I'm gonna go out back out, and then I'm gonna go back out.
I mean, I would definitely won't tell the story how like I turned the camera on for the show today, and the first thing you said was, "As soon as we're done with this, I'm going out and hitting the first run."
I did.
That's
say that.
that's a first time snowblower thing. That's a
I know.
rookie move there, Jabroni. You'll after you do a couple snowstorms, you'll get a rhythm down. But
it will all, you know what? The excitement will wear off.
yeah.
But right now, I'm on my high of never having to shovel again. Cross my fingers.
Well, I mean, you still have to shovel a little bit. You got like the deck and stuff like that. But
I got to do the pathway to the front door. But it's pretty cool the technology they have now that I'm using 2 batteries, and I can use these batteries for when I get my electronic lawnmower in the spring.
You trying to leaf blower?
Yeah, I don't blow the leaves. I just let them stay. I mean, come on.
Oh, you're that guy in the neighborhood? That just leaves his yard full of leaves?
I do the front yard. I don't do the backyard.
Well, then you get a leaf blower for the front yard.
My front yard is so small. I don't mind raking them. It's good exercise.
So you just do the trick I do is I mow the leaves
with the bag. That's what I do.
Well, not the bag. I put it on the blade level where it like composts it kind of like makes it really small.
Yeah, mulches it up.
Like a fine cut.
Yeah.
This is a great podcast. People are really tuning into some interesting stuff right now.
I know.
2 old men talking about yard work and snow blowing.
Yeah, all right. Let's move away from that.
2 old white men talk random things. Your dad's podcast, brought to you by Geekonomics.
We're old men. I'll give you my week real quickly. This week has been like a pretty awesome week because last Monday a new Weezer album was announced, and this Friday I got it in my hand. Okay, Human. It is amazing. I listened to this album. I just got the CD in the mail today. I have the vinyl coming. I got a T-shirt. I am so.
You got the 8-track coming next week.
8-track. The cassette tape's coming.
The beta disc is coming next month.
This album is easily my top 5. It is easily my album of the year right now. It is so.
Well, it's kind of early to be making that declaration.
Nope.
End of January.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if anything is going to compete with this.
I'm sure The Weeknd or Justin Timberlake will come out with something, and then you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this is fantastic."
I don't like Justin Timberlake. So.
Well, The Weeknd will come out with something, and then you'll love that.
I mean, his album is good, but it ain't no Okay Human, baby. This is like it's.
So is this like their disc track to Radiohead?
No. Radiohead did OK Computer because that whole album was done on a computer.
Yes.
This is OK Human because this whole album was done with an orchestra and no instruments that plugged in at all. Everything was analog. So
or acoustic.
Yeah, you could say acoustic. Yeah. It was
kind of like Skin and Bones from Foo Fighters.
It's exactly like Skin and Bones. You have an orchestra. They recorded this back in 2019. It was not going to be released until after Van Weezer, which is their heavy metal album, more guitars. That was supposed to come out in the beginning of the year. COVID happened. It got pushed to 2021. This album was supposed to come out in 2020. Was supposed to come out afterwards. But their record label said, okay, you can put this album out. So they put the finishing touches on it because there are some songs about being and being at home during the whole pandemic. So lyrically there are newer lyrics, but the album itself was conceived in 2019. But
it just started snowing here, so there you go.
I love it. I listened to it 1,000 times this weekend. It's like an awesome Weezer album. It's nothing like I've heard from them before. It has the signature sound, but it's just so different, and I love it. I just love it. And so 2 things, and I'll let you go, Mark. We watched a really cheesy movie on Netflix. It's like it had Thomas Jane, the Punisher.
Okay,
it was trending this weekend, so we watched it, and it had Anne Heche, and I think it's like The Disappearing or The Vanishing or whatever.
Okay,
it's a thriller. These people go camping, and their little girl goes missing. And Thomas Jane, I'm like, he looks so old. Like,
was he as bloated in this movie as he was in the last movie he was in?
He's not the. I mean, he can still act, and he can still have this way to him that has that stare, that Thomas Jane stare. But he looks like a dad. It's so weird. It is like a bargain bin M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's like there's a twist at the end. It's very cheesy. We watched it. It was good cheese. I don't recommend it, but if you got 2 hours to kill and you want to watch something dumb, I mean, it had its moments for being entertaining.
So it's like as cheesy as that Nick Cage's movie is going to be?
I haven't seen the Nick Cage movie. But
you haven't seen the thing for Willy's Wonderland yet?
No, I haven't watched the trailer.
Oh my gosh, we're doing this now.
Well, nice! On demand, February 12th. Dude, I am so seeing that. I am 100% in. 100% in, Mark.
I'm not a horror movie fan.
I want to see that. I
saw that trailer. I'm like, I'm actually kind of interested in this.
I really want to see that. February 12th, baby.
Nick Cage I am not talking and just killing things, robotic creatures.
It's Five Nights at Freddy. It really is.
That's what everyone's saying. It's like a basic ripoff of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie before they actually make the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Five Nights at Freddy movie has been in production hell, that maybe they made this instead, because maybe they were just like, hey, it's cheaper not to use those rights.
Yeah.
I don't know what who the company that bought the Five Nights at Freddy movie, but this is going to capitalize on that before that movie even comes out. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'd like to see that. So
now I don't know how you're going to put that on. Like, if you put that on Facebook, I guess if you keep the audio down of that and you keep the audio of
I know how to do it. I can do it. I can make it.
All right. We'll just keep going. This will go right into the podcast. We're back in the podcast now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Five Nights at Freddy's, we just watched the trailer. Brian's reaction was very, very into it. He's very excited for it.
Listen, that looked better than the Thomas Jane movie we watched on Netflix over the weekend. I mean, that Thomas Jane could go in that direction of making crazy shit movies like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he could.
He still has that look.
Yeah.
And he still can be. He's really good at being a crazy guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, that movie on Netflix is like I said, it's a bargain bin M. Night Shyamalan twist. It's like, M. Night's twist, it's like Sixth Sense, and then their twist was a little like, really?
Like The Village twist?
If you didn't like The Village, it would be like that.
Yeah.
I like The Village, so I don't compare it, but I understand where
or A Lady in the Water, or any of the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Unbroken.
Yeah.
Glass.
Nicolas Cage, I highly recommend watching History of the Swear Word on Netflix. There are 6 episodes. They're 20 minutes each. They go through all the swear words. It's really educational. It's very funny. And it's a great way to learn about these words we've been saying that are taboo for so long. So highly recommend that. And one last thing, we are currently, it's a documentary. It's on Vice. It's about the search for Q, the QAnon conspiracy theory.
Mm.
It's 3 parts. They're 44 minutes each. We just finished part 2, and wow, wow, wow. They're looking for the people who started the QAnon movement. Okay,
Yeah.
the conspiracy. They're looking for the where did they come from? Who started this? And I'm gonna say this is so worth watching because it's eye-opening how far back this goes, and it's
Mm.
also eye-opening because I just can't believe this is going on and how many people believe this stuff. And it's scary that it could have started off as a joke,
Yeah.
and now it's dangerous. So, highly recommend watching it. It's on
Yeah.
Vice. It's on demand. But that's all I got for the week. Mark, what do you got?
I didn't watch anything like any. I didn't binge anything this week. It was very just kind of, now having cut the cord, kind of figuring out how to watch shows that I usually would watch. So a lot
Yeah,
of
but
that.
you watch everything you talk about was on streaming services. That doesn't change.
Well, yeah, but the Fubo doesn't have the TNT shows, so I had to figure out that. Because I
But it
watched
should be
Snowpiercer.
HBO Max, right?
Yeah, so that's what I found. It was on HBO Max. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, Snowpiercer still good. Second season just started.
Yeah.
I thoroughly suggest that show. The other show I suggest watching, it was a show that I might have talked about a while back, actually. Alan Tudyk from Star Wars fame and Firefly and
Yeah.
so forth. Uh, did a Indiegogo Kickstarter. I can't remember which one it was.
Was it Con Men?
No, not Conmen. This is a new show. Resident Alien.
Oh, I heard about this.
Oh my gosh. Probably going to be the best show on television, in my opinion.
What's it on?
It's on Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi bought the rights to it.
Yeah.
And they're airing it. The pilot aired, the first episode aired this past week. They're hard promoting it too, which is great. But it's such a simple concept, but Alan Tudyk is fantastic and plays it so well. I mean, it's an alien gets trapped on Earth, takes the place of a human.
That's awesome.
Hilarity ensues. It's also like a crime mystery drama at the same time.
Yeah. So it's a comedy.
It's a dark comedy. It's like a dark comedy sci-fi. Yeah. It's like very much in sci-fi's wheelhouse. It's very campy kind of comedy, but it's very well done. I would suggest that show. The other show I kind of jumped into off of Good Place, which I loved. Ted Danson's new show, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
I don't know why I find it hilarious, but I do.
I gotta watch that. It's on
Bobby Moynihan is fantastic.
Yeah, I love him.
A doof. It's really well done. Holly Hunter's fantastic.
How many episodes are they in?
I want to say they're the 5th episode's this coming week.
Ooh, I could just put that on when I'm working.
I
keep forgetting about it, but it's on Peacock. It's on my watch list.
Yeah, so. Yeah. No, I definitely would say check it out.
Yeah.
Besides that, not really haven't really watched anything else. Really, I can't think of anything that I've watched that was worth talking about.
Cool.
Besides WandaVision, of course, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we got
WandaVision.
So Mark, we got news. So I'm gonna go through the news.
All right, hit me with some news. You got the news. We got the news.
The Matrix 4 full title reportedly has been leaked.
Yes.
And that means it's coming out this year, which is amazing because
it's part of the HBO Max releases.
Yeah, and it's weird because they filmed this before and during the whole outbreak last year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Like in New Zealand or something, though, right? Like
Australia, England. They were in London.
Okay, yeah.
And they were hit hard, so they could have filmed other places. You're absolutely. I don't know all the places, but
I remember hearing that they were it was some kind of I don't
know. So it's Matrix Resurrections.
It is.
So I mean,
wondering if you were going to say that correctly.
Yes, I practiced it in front of the mirror 4 times.
Matrix Erections.
That's the porno. I mean, right now, that's the porno version. That's like
coming.
Easy.
It's coming.
Yeah, porno parody. I mean, it makes sense because Neo dies.
Well, he dies.
He sacrifices himself like a Jesus figure.
Yes.
So I guess this
in
would
the real world, supposedly.
No, I don't remember. You know, that last movie.
I remember him like going up into like through the sewers.
Yeah, into that big
and thing. Then into like the like I don't know, like the Terminator warehouse area where like all the machines were running the world. And he had like a face off with like the Unicron or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to.
I remember that kind of thing. That I remember him like jumping into the Unicron face.
Yes, and he sacrifices himself.
And then like the machines just like they don't really like say that he's dead. He kind of just like
gets part of it,
carried away.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's nothing like no one's there to check his vitals or anything.
Mark, I feel like this is gonna have to be a rewatch for me because I that one movie I saw once in the theater. I never really cared.
I just remember the very end of the movie was the old lady walks up to Moss's character, and she's they're both sitting on like or Morpheus or someone's on a bench.
On the bench, and
they like just talk, and then they just pan out from them sitting on the bench in the Matrix.
Yeah.
To the city. And that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, it's been so long, right?
It was just a very weird, like, so they didn't save themselves?
They did.
They're still in the Matrix?
Yes, but they're not being controlled by the robots.
But they're still in the Matrix.
Do we ever really escape the Matrix, Mark?
I don't know. I never understood how it ended. There wasn't like, they didn't like defeat the robots and go back into the world again.
It's a very good question. Like I said, I gotta rewatch this.
So everyone was being born and put into like vats and being injected into the Matrix where they lived. So
yeah,
how are they being born?
Well, that's why this movie.
How are new people coming alive?
Resurrections, because they're gonna. I mean, it's plural, so we're gonna have more than one.
So is it going to be them like coming out of the stasis and going back to a world that's been destroyed by the machines?
These are all good questions, but I don't have the answers.
No.
You have. You've asked $1 million questions.
Sounds like a cash grab to me, but okay.
I mean, it's not really cash grab.
It should be called Matrix Money Grab, is what it should be called.
Well, it's coming to HBO Max, so they're not really making much.
Well, I'm sure they got paid beforehand. It's not like they're like waiting for it now.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the basis of it originally. Was they weren't planning on this pandemic happening, and
yeah.
Matrix Money Grab coming 2021.
Well, we got to see it first because I mean, I still have to watch Bill and Ted 3. I have it. I have a digital copy, and I've been dying to watch it. And people love that movie.
And you haven't been dying that much to watch it since you haven't seen it yet. It's been out for almost 2 months now.
I keep forgetting. I have it.
Write yourself a note, Grandpa.
When I have things digitally, I forget I own them because I don't see them. So I'm just like, yeah, it's there.
I guess, yeah.
It's my thing I gotta figure out. Okay. This is gaming news, Mark. You might like
GameStop.
this.
Buy the stock now.
Well, yeah, buy the stock now, but you can't really because Robinhood froze it, and there's a whole.
They open it up again.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? It's above my pay grade. All that stuff.
I'm pretty sure if you want to, we can have John come on and talk about it for you. And
no,
we'll all tune out, and then
he just texts us constantly like, "Make money, show me the money," and yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, this is pretty big news. So
he sent me a thing saying that the next one to get into was AMC, and I wasn't thinking, and I'm like, the TV channel?
American Movie Classics?
Why would I want to buy stock in that for? I thought that was a part of something else.
No.
He's like, no, the movie theaters. I'm like, oh, aren't movie theaters dead? Why am I buying stock in movie theaters?
So is GameStop. No, all these companies are dying, and they're buying.
I don't.
they're bringing this. They're bringing the stocks up, even though these companies don't have the money.
I'll admit it right now. I'm not smart enough to understand anything you're saying.
That's what I told you. I said I don't want to talk about it because it's above my pay grade. And there's a million videos about that. You can learn all about that from someone else who knows what they're talking about. Yeah. I have gaming news that's unrelated to GameStop or the stocks.
Isn't every gaming news unrelated to GameStop at this point?
No. So the last couple of years was the last generation of systems. We've had Microsoft owns Minecraft, which is on all platforms.
Yes.
Then Ori and the Black Forest went to Nintendo Switch, and that's a Xbox exclusive.
Yes.
So there have been free-to-play games that opened up the gate, so Sony players can play Xbox players, and Nintendo players can play them as well.
Get your point. I'm already lost.
So things have been cross-pollinating with these companies for a while now.
You start talking about giga speed and bit rates, I'm going to turn the camera off.
One of the biggest sports games, MLB The Show, which is a Sony exclusive, the only officially licensed baseball game out there right now, and it has been. It always gets glowing reviews. People love it, but it's a Sony exclusive. Well, they made a deal with Microsoft, and this year it will be coming to Xbox as well, which is pretty
Can I tell you something right now as a sports gaming person?
Yeah.
That plays sports games?
Yeah.
Probably the least entertaining games for me ever have been baseball games.
Yeah. Well,
you're basically taking a sport that's, unless you're playing it or a fan of it, sitting and watching is painful. It's almost as bad as a golf video game, in my opinion.
What about Golden Tee? Golden Tee is fucking awesome.
Well, that's that's different. But I'm saying on like a console.
Listen, I agree that we used to play the baseball game. I forget which one. It's the
Mario.
One. No, well, yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. They had Little League. Walking Wally was a little kind
Listen, I'm just saying this is. I mean, I get what you're saying, but this is a very popular baseball game. It's the only baseball game out there.
Oh yeah, because
and for it to come to Xbox and to share like that is pretty big. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So baseball fans who have always been locked out of the series can now play. I think that's awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And going to sports, Mark, we didn't talk about this last week, but the big games this weekend.
We didn't talk about that last week because it's this week. So we figured why talk about it in a week where the game's not happening.
Yeah.
But yes, Super Bowl 55 this weekend, this Sunday.
What time does it start?
Probably at 6:40. That's usually when it starts.
Oh,
I know it's a random time, but I just have that time memorized.
Yeah,
that's usually around the time kickoff is.
Yeah, 6:30.
6:30. Okay, so it's Patrick Mahomes of the State Farm promotions.
Yep.
And Head and Shoulders, and the Kansas City Chiefs up against Tom, by God, he's back again, Brady.
So this is his 10th Super Bowl.
His 10th Super Bowl. He's been in the league since 2001. He was drafted in 2000. So
crazy.
He's basically been in the Super Bowl half his career.
I mean, that is nuts.
Yeah.
And does this okay, so you're a Patriots fan. Does this say something that, Belichick couldn't get it together with his new crew, but for some reason Tom Brady's team comes in and makes the Super Bowl?
No. It just shows that if you put weapons and can afford to have weapons around a really good quarterback, you'll make the Super Bowl.
What kind of weapons?
Like wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, like actual offensive people.
When's the last time this team has ever made it to the Super Bowl?
To the early 2000s, I think. The last time was with John Gruden and Rich Gannon.
Who did they play? The Patriots?
They played the Raiders.
Oh, okay, play the video.
Yeah.
So do you think Tom Brady is gonna bring this home? Do you think he's gonna bring it home for them?
I think it's gonna be a really good game. I still think it's the Chiefs to lose. The Chiefs are a really, really good team. They have really good like wide receivers. Tampa Bay's defense is good. Chiefs defense is a little bit less than the Buccaneers defense. It should be, on paper, it should be a good game.
Cool.
I'll say that.
And
the weekend's doing halftime, so you'll be there for that.
I'm there for that and the commercials.
Yeah.
I'm excited for. I always watch the commercials. The game I kind of tune out, and then every 5 minutes commercial.
I know. I remember from when we used to watch at your house.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the game.
John and I would be watching the game, and then as soon as the game, like, hey, we'll be right back after shut up, everybody. I want to see what commercials come on.
The commercials are on, baby.
Then as soon as the commercial's over, Brian starts talking during the football game. I'm like,
I don't
punch you in the face. Go in the other room.
I never talked during it. But yeah, it's weird. I'm interested to see the commercials because are they obviously a lot of these were probably filmed so during quarantine. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of like people either using Zoom or they're not in the same room together.
Well, they've done a lot of commercials since this happened where people are standing far away from each other without masks on.
Right, totally.
Like the AT&T commercial where they have like the note at the bottom. This was filmed using safer things. And they have technology now where they could shoot people like on a green screen and put them in the same spot.
Yeah. Mark, so before we get into WandaVision, I guess the biggest news that...
Oh my gosh. That was a big one.
That was big. The biggest news that came out of this week that you really wanted to talk about was Costco dropping the coconut milk over allegations of forced monkey labor.
Yes, but more news has come out about this since I told you about it.
Right.
I first saw the post. One of the volunteers / producers at Public Access, he does Public Access and Chill. He's a stand-up comedian, and he posted on his Facebook page. And at first, I thought it was a joke.
It sounds like
I was like, what? Why would people be trading monkeys to get coconuts? So I started reading the article, and it's true. There's this company that was trading monkeys and then forcing monkeys to climb trees and pick coconuts. More of this story has come out since I first read it and sent it to Brian, and he has more on this. Let's go to Brian with the rest of the story. Brian?
All right, Mark, I'm right here. I'm getting news updates right here.
Sitting outside the coconut factory.
I'm standing here outside PETA. The Asia division found cruelty monkeys at farms and facilities used by the
coconut milk producing company.
Company.
Just
when not being forced to pick coconuts or perform in circus-style shows for tourists, the animals are kept tethered, chained to old tires, or confined to cages barely larger than their bodies. One coconut farmer confirmed that when monkeys are terrified and try to defend themselves, handlers may have their teeth pulled out.
The monkeys, not the handlers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Handlers may have their... So they're pulling the teeth out of these monkeys.
Yes. Did you think it was the handlers themselves were getting their teeth pulled out?
At first, I thought the monkeys were defending themselves by trying to grab the teeth out of the handlers. That's what I really thought. That's what how I read it. Those little hands.
Monkey dentists.
Those little monkey
dentists.
Or...
Let's say I'm going to tell people what Brian originally thought the story was about before we started the podcast.
Almond
he thought it was almond milk, and he was like, "Would they use their little tiny hands to get the milk out of the almonds?"
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was squeezed. I'm like, because
they're milking almonds.
That's what I thought.
Monkeys are milking almonds in Asia.
And then now, and now I just thought these guys, the handlers, were waking up with no teeth because the monkeys were coming in and ripping them out.
So 2 weird thoughts you've had in the past hour.
This is what
that you can milk almonds and get juice out of them.
It was a joke. I know.
Not so much. You actually thought that was happening.
No.
And now you think monkeys are attacking people and pulling their teeth out.
clearly I knew the almond milk thing was a joke because that's the joke. People go, "Oh, you milk the almonds? They smell little teats."
Yes.
Anyway, I mean, this is horrible. I mean, I don't blame.
I know these handlers are getting their teeth pulled out.
I know.
I wonder why they put these monkeys in cages. Man.
Okay, this is also funny. It said that
it's not funny at all, actually.
The report
terrible.
says 64 farms out of the 817 were randomly selected and did not find the use of monkeys for coconut harvesting. So 64 out of the 817 didn't use monkeys.
Only 64 out of the 817.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
So that means 700, almost 700 farms were using monkeys to climb up trees and pick coconuts.
And then using
them as circus animals.
And chaining them up and putting them in cages and pulling their teeth out. I mean, that's messed up. They're animals.
That's coconut harvesting is a crazy business.
I guess so. I'm glad we ended the news segment on an upper.
It's just very crazy to me to think that, like, I was trying to figure out, like, how do you force a monkey to climb a tree and pick coconuts?
They train them, but they're
they have to be tied to something, I would think.
Oh God, they're probably on big leashes of some sort because they don't want to take off. But I mean,
I remember seeing guys that climb up the trees to pick the coconuts, and that's crazy enough. It's like
animal cruelty of any kind is disgusting.
Oh, it is. Yes, yeah.
I saw we watched this compilation of funny cat videos, and there was this one guy. He set up his camera, and I guess he was going to play guitar.
Yeah.
The cat was sitting in his chair. He picks the cat up, throws it on the ground, and then when the cat is just sitting there, he walks over and he kicks it. He gives it a little kick. So the guy sits down, the cat runs up the steps, and there's potted plants on the steps, knocks the one down right above his head, smashes on the guy's head. I mean, you're like, what an asshole. And then the cat, that was kind of like really cool.
Karma gets you.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I mean, you also watched that. You watched that documentary where the guy that wasn't there a documentary on Netflix or something?
Oh, the Tiger King.
No, the other one where it was the serial killer guy that was like killing cats or something.
Well, there was a lot of that happening with a lot of the serial killers.
No, I'm saying there was one documentary that you watched where they were investigating, or I don't know. I remember there being like something where they were online.
I didn't watch that. That's Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yes, yeah, that was it. Yeah,
I didn't watch it because I don't, a part of me and Elsa don't want to even like. I don't know. I don't know if they show it, or if they allude to it, or I heard they don't show the footage. They have people watching it, and you get a reaction.
Yeah,
I don't even want to. I can't stomach that. I think.
Yeah.
Because I love cats so much.
Yeah.
I don't. Even dogs, I don't want to know.
Yeah, no,
But I mean, I know it was fake in a way, and they caught the person.
Yeah,
I think what he was doing was real to the animals, but like he was making it. I don't know,
worse than it actually was.
Maybe, and I think the cat might have survived, but I think the internet sleuths got him. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's Don't Fuck with Cats on Netflix.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right, Mark.
WandaVision, episode 4. Oh my
God.
Things happened. So it's going to be a spoiler-filled discussion. So if you haven't seen episode yet, you can wrap up the show here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. But if you're ready to talk WandaVision, buckle in because we're about to dive deep into episode 4.
Oh my
God. Episode 4 basically starts with what I think could be the scariest MCU horror movie ever made. If someone were to do it. Call it The Blip. And the whole story is like, it's very Leftovers-esque. The show could be, I believe, where everyone disappears in a second. Then you have that whole like what happened in the world to regular people during that time frame, and then you jump 3 years and or I remember however many years ahead to when Endgame happens.
Yep.
And the first scenes of episode 4 is Rambeau's character being blipped back into existence, sitting in a chair in a hospital room with an empty bed next to her. And it's when the snapping is unsnapped.
Yeah. And she was gone for 2 years, we learned.
Yeah. Well, 3 years, I think they said.
Is it 3? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which is kind of strange because in the movie it was 5 years. So I don't know how that.
No, they have to keep the continuity. You know,
yeah.
Paul. I feel like whatever they said has got to be right.
Because in Endgame they said 5 years later.
Oh. Did they say 5 years on WandaVision?
There was a 3. I don't remember what they said.
Me neither. So let's.
I think her mom died because they find out that her mom died 3 years ago.
Yes.
So I think she was gone for 5 years.
Yes.
But the world's moved on, and then 2 years after she blipped away, her mom passes away.
That makes sense.
That's why I think that all worked out.
She disappeared in the hospital room with her mom was there.
Which, luckily enough, no one was sitting in the chair at the time.
Or
there wasn't some other random person in the bed.
But the chaos that ensued in that hospital was awesome. Like,
because the thing that made me think horror movies is, what if you're in an airplane when the blip happened, and you are unblipped, and you're in midair?
People brought
and you fall to your death.
They could.
Or you're on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean.
Well,
when you blipped away, and you come back, and now you're in the middle of the ocean.
I would want to pretend, or I'd want to think, if you blipped in a moving vehicle, that you would come back in that vehicle, even though.
But this establishes that you come back exactly where you were at the time of the happening.
Yeah.
So this puts that as canon, that this is what happened. You blip back to wherever you were. Like, people were blipping back in the middle of a hallway. People were blipping back, like, and just standing in the middle of a hallway. So it establishes that you were come back exactly where you left from.
Remember Spider-Man?
Which is just like in Endgame.
Mark and Spider-Man. Remember they showed the kids
wherever they were. So I'm saying,
gym?
If this translates to real world stuff, if you were driving your car on the road and your car crashed into something, like with the scene at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
I might be getting my movie or Infinity War, where the Nick Fury's car crashes into another cars are crashing all over the place because people are disappearing. So that person blips back, they're just standing in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And think about if you have all these, like, if half the world's population just reappeared.
Chaos. Bodies everywhere.
Yeah. Like if the president, per se, blipped away and blips back inside the Oval Office and everyone thought he was dead. People paid out all these insurance claims for all these people who supposedly died. There's all these things that could be like an awesome TV show on their own that I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, somebody needs to be writing this.
It's called The Leftovers.
Call it The Blip.
Yeah, but we don't really need to watch a whole show based on the blip.
But wouldn't it be amazing, though, to see like real people's reactions? Like real world, just a random people.
Yeah, but we've gotten that in Spider-Man and this. We get to see a little bit of that.
Spider-Man, you kind of got a little bit of it because you got the aftermath of it happening.
Yeah, and
this you actually got to see it happening, like the chaos that ensued.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man kind of just like washed it like under the rug, kind of like, oh yeah, we were all disappeared and now we're all back again. Isn't that funny? Whereas this like actually like get you into that thought process of this craziness of people just like been gone for 5 years and now they're all of a sudden back again.
Yeah.
Finding out your parent had died and you weren't around to see it happen or you weren't there for it.
Well, yeah, I mean we'll get Ant-Man.
Which is very poignant for right now, is my first thought, was this is like very like what's going on in the world right now. People are going through this kind of thing. Like you've kind of disappeared from your social circle.
Yeah.
Kind of, and you're not really there. Things could be happening. You have no idea what's going on.
Or when you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Nobody can visit you.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
So we go from there. She goes in. We find out her mom invented sword or established sword.
Also, I want to bring up something.
Okay.
So we go to the sword facility with the character, the daughter, and she was the daughter in Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And so when she is walking with Hayward, is it Hayward?
I think so.
Yeah, Hayward mentions that we're focusing on nanotech, which is so cool because that's from Tony Stark.
Yes.
Tony Stark said to Bruce Banner, and numerous times, it's nanotech. You like it? A little something I made up. And this is kind of before Age of Ultron. But nanotech is a Tony Stark invention, which is really cool.
Yes, and we also see that her mom's nickname was Photon, which correlates with her being called Quasar down the road.
Yeah. So. And then Monica, she knows she's seen the aliens at the end of Captain Marvel. So she, even though she's disappeared for a while and she's back, she knows that space is full of threats and allies because she's witnessed it as a child.
Or aliens, not just Allens.
Allies. Threats and allies, not aliens.
I said Allens. I was like, a bunch of Allens walking around.
If they're named Allen, maybe.
This guy's just a bunch of Allens wandering around. But yeah, so she goes in, he grounds her per her mom's directives for what would happen after a disappearance of a person if they were taken to space and came back.
Yeah.
Is pretty much what I think that she was talking about, or abducted by aliens. So she gets sent to New Jersey to help with a missing persons case.
And we meet Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man.
Yes.
The FBI agent from Ant-Man, which I saw a really cool thing over the weekend where the first time he meets Scott, who plays Ant-Man, Paul Rudd's character, Paul Rudd does a magic trick where he like makes a card appear, like does the hand thing, like where the card appears. And I'm like, and then when we meet Jimmy Woo and he goes to Monica Rambeau, he does the same like card appearing trick. I'm like, oh, he liked that trick, so he learned how to do it, so that way he could use that. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's trying to learn it.
Throwback to Ant-Man. So
yeah, because he asked him, how'd you do it?
Like, so that's why like he learned how to do it from Ant-Man. So that was pretty cool. So then they send a drone in, which looks like the helicopter, which we saw in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Westview. But did you notice on the Westview sign? So it said home, it's where you make it.
Yes.
It's kind of interesting because she's making it her home.
Because we find out that the town doesn't exist at all on the map.
It's an abandoned town.
No, it's not even a town. The cops say there is no Westview. There's never been a Westview.
Oh, yeah, there was no Westview. But you can still see down the street.
See the street. So the thing is that either Wanda is not only wiping like the brains of the people inside, but basically wiped the memory of Westview off everyone else's minds, so they don't think it exists, so that way no one goes looking for it, kind of thing, which is kind of crazy because they're like, yeah, we never heard any of these people, there's no one of these people exist, kind of thing. So then we find out all the people, because Monica gets sucked into the television world, and then we get in and we see Kat Dennings appears, her character from Thor. She's part of the scientists that are brought in.
Oh my god. We haven't seen her character in a very long time.
Since Thor 2.
Yeah. I kind of didn't, I didn't know she was going to be coming back. It was great to see her. And
this show needed that kind of like a comedy person like that kind of dry.
Well, also, okay, let's talk about the military operation that's happening with Sword. I like the fact that they are asking the questions the audience is asking. Why is this a TV show? What is going on?
Yeah.
Why is it like this?
Is someone doing this to her, or who's doing this, or what's causing this?
Yeah, but I mean, it's so nice when a show
doesn't have the answers.
Well, no, they're asking the same questions the viewer's asking, because
it doesn't give like the answers just instantly. Like everyone knows what's going on.
And I mean, it's just so nice because sometimes you watch a show and you ask questions and no character asks those questions. You're just kind of like,
Yeah.
What's going on here? But it's so nice. I mean, they're asking these questions that we've been asking. Why are they picking old time television shows? Why are they doing this? And then I love how she's getting invested.
Yeah, just like eating the chips and everything and watching the show.
Yeah, watching the show and like it goes through.
My first thought was you could see like even in the Sword World, government money is just like water. They can just spend it like crazy. They just keep sending drone after drone after drone after drone after drone in, knowing they don't come back.
Well,
or they keep throwing drones in.
They sent one in, remember?
No, in that one scene, there's one scene where they cut to the outside.
Oh.
Where they do the thing where Wu uses the radio. And there's just a scene of just like guys just taking boxes of drones and just throwing them into the anomaly. It's just like, all right, there's millions of dollars wasted. I feel bad for the poor guy after this is all over. Has to go around and collect all the drones that are just lying around.
I do. I think we did. Let's talk about that though. We did talk about this last week and before. We now know the B guy was actually someone trying to sneak in from Sword,
which was an actual Sword agent trying to come in. We don't know what happened to him still.
He's not dead. He got booted out.
But they don't like show him getting booted out. They don't show anything happening to him.
They don't need to.
I'm saying, but they don't like show what actually like he could still be in the world, just as a different character.
She had total power, so she just kind of erased him. Like he probably just got thrown out.
I'm thinking. I don't know if he got erased or if he got mind washed, and now he's going to be an actual character in the shows.
He could be. He could be. Oh. That's a good.
Because there's no like they never show him leaving like they do with Monica at the end of the episode.
Yeah, Monica gets thrown out, but they like I like
they find out all the people in the town are actual people that have been missing.
Yeah,
that no one realizes exist because they can't find them.
But when things get in there, they turn into different things. Like that rope turned into an old school jump rope.
Yeah.
The drone turned into a toy helicopter.
Well, they get like they get a Wandified.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have to say the tone of this episode was nice to break away from the sitcom stuff.
Yeah, well I guess now the from seeing the future, like the random like clips from the next episode. I didn't watch the trailer, but seeing like the random clips, that's going to be like half and half for this next episode. It's going to be half in, half out.
Yeah, they're doing 70s.
Yeah.
No way, they already did 70s.
80s. They're 80s next, yeah. So it's going to be like very.
The helicopter, the drone, is the same colors as the Captain Marvel suit, which is kind of cool.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So. And also Iron Man's suit.
Are you banging on something?
Oh, I was tapping this leg of the microphone.
Yes.
Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, this the episode just like they answer like all the questions we had coming into this episode, which was nice.
Yeah. Oh, and now we got like we know who that person was at the end of episode 1. The hand was Kat
Dennings' character writing on the pad.
Yes.
So like it gave you like it answered everything that you asked already.
Yep.
It's like here's all your answers, and now we're finding out what's going on with Wanda now. Now this is what we've established like what this is, and they showed the commercial, the Strucker commercial, and she was like oh my gosh, that's like a Hydra reference. So she's like writing that down. So she's writing down all this stuff that's going on inside. But then we get the two scenes I think that like blew me away at least.
Yeah.
The scene with Monica Rambeau, we get the different angle of the conversation with her and Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
And she does the whole hand thing and rockets her out of the thing and then puts the wall back together. And then we get the scene where her standing at the crib and Vision comes back in, but Vision is not the color that he was in the last episode where we saw him.
He was dead. Weekend at Bernie's.
She turns around and it's zombified Vision with the stone ripped out of his head.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. And she just like, and she like edits it and fixes him. So she has like just a puppet Vision walking around.
That
she's animating.
We're here in the story. You're talking about this. I have to say, Mark, that last 10 minutes when we see the truth of what happened to Monica.
Yeah.
And what Wanda did, all that stuff happening, and them sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
It gave me chills. It was so dark and creepy.
It's very creepy.
Oh my God. And like, honestly, I'm not kidding when I say this. I hope she gets nominated for an Emmy this year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think her performance is really good.
Yeah.
And that itself, I mean, for her to go from the cheery mom, she's having the babies, to just like on a dime, that was just a creepy performance, and it was so eerie in the context of that episode. Man, it gave me chills. I was just like, okay, I'm this is
one thing I've seen online though is people saying how they didn't reference the banging from the one episode where they heard like the thump 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 noise when there was a tree was hitting the window supposedly.
But it was a tree hitting the window because
in the show it was.
Yeah,
I think it was the drones entering the world.
That could have been.
So that was the noise that they were making. Like every time they'd enter, one would enter, like doof, 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 doof.
Or it could have been
breaking through,
hitting the window.
Yeah,
right.
The drones are crashing into the house and falling, like the helicopter drone did, and fell into the bushes.
Well, Mark,
I think it was
right. We see the helicopter outside in the bushes. That could have been what was actually making the noise.
The noise that kept like crashing into the house trying to get in.
You're right.
I think that's what the noise was.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we get a lot of like answers to all the different random questions we've had so far.
And the radio, we know it was Wu on the radio.
Yeah, well, we knew it was Wu because we heard his voice when he was.
We heard his voice, and on the subtitle.
But now we know how they were doing it. Yeah.
I'm going through some Easter eggs and stuff.
Yeah, but it was. For all the people who are like, oh, this this is not really good. WandaVision's kind of slow, blah blah blah. It's like this is like the episode that like kicks it off. Like this is what, if you're not into the show now, you're not gonna get into it, because this is the show that like basically says this is what would have been like most shows' first episode.
Yeah.
Like here's the story, here's what's going on, here's what happened.
I have to say though, this episode moved so quickly for me, where the others kind of dragged in the middle. For me, I was so invested, and when that moment happened and they cut the credits, I was like, come on, I want this to be an hour, like 40 minutes or something. Like it felt so short. I was so into it.
Next episodes are halfway point because there's 9 episodes.
I know, so things are gonna get crazy.
Things are just gonna get weirder from here.
They ended it with Voodoo Child, by Jimi Hendrix, which was kind of cool.
Yes, because I think that's the they're saying that's the.
Well, that was the 60s,
the kids.
70s.
Yeah,
and Voodoo
I think
Child's
it's more the thing on the kids are the Voodoo Childs.
Right.
They're not really there. They're just kind of in her head.
Yeah, I don't think they're really there.
And now they're gonna like have to try to convince her that their kids aren't real, and that's what's gonna push her over the edge.
Vision did make comments about leaving Westview.
Yeah, they have that little clip where they do that thing too, where he talks about, and then she edits it.
This is our home.
Yeah.
Don't worry, darling. We have everything. I have everything under control. So she knows.
Yes, she thinks she has everything under control, but she's really slowly losing control.
Yeah, and
because we had the stork scene from the last episode where she couldn't get the stork to go away. So I think it's going to be more of that. Like the people in the town are going to start like asking questions, and things are going to start making her more angry, and you have to start controlling more of it and not being able to just like let it all happen.
I think reality is creeping in slowly, and I think as we progress through, I think the TV shows are representative of happier and simpler times. So when you go back to the 50s, carefree life, 60s, 70s, and then you get 80s and 90s, and life becomes more complicated. Television actually was starting to project the times and showing that life isn't just apple pie and I have a dinner date. And I think when she gets to that point, it's reality sinking in. It's going to start crashing in around her and start squishing, blurring the lines between what's reality and what's not. So I think looking at it now and knowing where we're going a little bit, I kind of see why they did this classic television bit, and it makes sense now.
Yeah,
looking back on it.
And there has been rumors that I've seen online.
Don't tell me. I don't know if I want to know, Mark. I don't want you to ruin anything.
I'm not going to ruin it because it's not been confirmed that it's actually happening. But it's been rumored that her brother has been signed to reprise the role of Quicksilver and make appearances in the show.
Pedro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that could be a rumor.
That's what I just said it was a rumor. But it would make sense now after this episode. He
showed up. We saw him in a flashback.
Well, I'm saying it would make more sense now from the reappear. Because she's brought him up now. And now she could be like, oh, I want you to meet your uncle. Oh. He comes back as a live person.
Uncle Joey.
Yeah. Like the 80s uncle guy that comes and lives with them.
Yeah.
Help take care of the kids.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good theory, Mark.
Yeah. So that's what my first thought was, because that's very much like an 80s trope.
You had Uncle Joey, Uncle Jesse. You had all the family members living under one roof for some reason. All those TGI Friday shows.
Well, the Full House reason was the mother died and the other guys came to help him raise the kids.
And they never moved out.
They never moved out after the kids are all grown up.
10 years.
All met people and lived in the house together.
Yeah.
Even when they got married to someone else, they moved up in the attic. They didn't
move
out of the house.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Then Joey moved into the garage, so they had nowhere to park the car.
So going back to about how we find out these are missing people in the town, I guess Agnes is the one person they still don't know who she is. They don't have a real name. Someone noticed that online, that didn't have a copy of her license, and she's still kind of an unknown person. So I wonder if that's gonna.
Well, that's the thing too. Is there like
who is that?
Because there's been things that people have said, like there's in the initial trailer for the show, there's a scene with her in the car in a Halloween costume as a witch, and there's been thought process that she's the person that's helped Wanda do this.
You know what?
Because she's the one that's like asking the questions of the neighbor, like, and talking to Vision, like she doesn't have a home.
She questioned Monica. She knew everything. Yeah, she knew that Monica didn't belong there.
She's her best friend. She's the neighbor that shows up all the time with stuff.
But she was trying to get the other guy that was by accidentally just cutting his bushes.
Because he was trying to cut his way out.
Yeah, like she basically is like, don't tell him. Don't tell. Yeah. Like she's kind of like almost like keeping everyone like you said at bay. What if she is her subconscious? What if she just totally made up? And
that's another thought process, is that she's like.
Well, they have a photo of her.
Well, they have the photo of her from inside the show, not outside.
Correct. So
she could be just a figment of her imagination. She could be the denial person. That's like
It's like if you take the movie.
There's a scene in the trailer where she like Vision's like, oh. And she turns and goes, "Aren't you dead?" And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, well, we're all dead in here."
Oh, I don't remember this. See, I ignored all that.
And she laughs, and then like cuts to another scene.
You know what? Remember the movie Pixar Inside by Pixar? It's
Inside
like
Out.
You have all these representatives in your head of your parts of your movie.
Different emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she could represent that. Because maybe Wanda can't control it all, and she knows this. All good theories, Mark. You're on a roll today, Mark. You're on a roll.
I would think I'd really dive deep into the show. I'm really like wanting to like try to figure out all the different little things.
Yeah, I mean, part of me almost wants to just rip them through before next Friday, and just rewatch them all. Just have them on, and I can do something else during the boring parts, but like. This last episode, man, I really want to watch it again. It is getting
like good. I said, I watched like the first time through just to watch it and see all the stuff that happens, and then I go back like the next day or a couple days after and rewatch it again, but like pay attention to all the ancillary things and the different outside the focus area of the screen stuff, because there's always like little things like in the first episode. The last episode where they're in the kitchen and she's making cereal, it's like Monica O's. It's like
Yeah.
It's all like spaceships and like the different marshmallows and stuff. So there's little droplets of things they put in the show to kind of like hint at what's going to be going on, and you just got to be able to pay attention to it all.
Totally.
So
sorry, I was seeing if it's. I don't have any windows. I can't. I'm sure it's still snowing yet.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So on a scale 1 to 5, I rate this episode a 5.
I am still hedging my bets for later in the season, so I'm gonna put this at a 4.5. So I don't want to like.
Well, I mean,
I want to save the 5 for the big episode reveal.
I'm rating them as I'm going. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I can get more. We can give more 5s, but I say out of these 4, this is definitely my favorite. And it is. It was so nice to see classic characters come back into the fold and give us that connection. And we should have stopped by the name of the episode. Like the name of the episode was like, it was like. I
don't look at the names of the episodes either because it kind of always like shows like give something away. So
it was like we interrupt this broadcast.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. Something like to that effect. But I don't think they put the titles out until the day the episode drops.
Yeah.
So like an IMDb, I don't think they have names until it drops.
Yeah.
Because it would give it away. But I like that name because it's cool. So I can't wait till Friday, man. I mean, this week is. I hope it goes by quick. You know.
It does make it. It keeps the Friday Disney Plus train going. Basically, is what it does. Like after Mandalorian, now you're into this. Then hopefully, Winter Soldier and Falcon can keep the train going.
Let me tell you a little story about this past Friday. We had a windstorm.
Yes.
A gigantic tree, top of a tree, fell onto power lines, took down the whole pole at the top of my street. Now Friday, and here in New England, it was like 3 degrees outside.
With a wind chill of like minus 15.
So I had no power from noon until we got power back.
Like around 8:30, I think you said you got power back.
Yeah, 8:30 at night. But I also didn't have internet for the rest of the night.
Man,
Clock was down. I woke up at 5 in the morning. A shitty sleep.
Gotta watch it.
I woke up at 5 in the morning. I got up, made myself a coffee, and I watched that. That's the first thing I did.
That's usually my Friday mornings. I wake up before I even look at my phone. I take a shower, come into the office / guy room here, sit down, watch WandaVision because I don't want to look at my phone and see some idiot on Facebook mention something.
Yeah.
Or randomly go to YouTube and see something. So.
Yeah, I watch it Friday night. Usually, Allison goes to bed. I put my headphones on and I watch it. And I couldn't do that. But you're right. Like I stayed away from social media as best as I could Friday because I just didn't want it to be ruined. So.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this Friday we'll have power and everything will be fine.
Yeah, no, hopefully, yeah.
But that's our review. I mean,
yes,
you're giving it a 4. I give it a 5.
I said a 4.5. 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll even give it a 4.75. I'll do the each German judge thing. 4.75.
I didn't know we're doing points.
Well, you can do whatever you want. You do your numbers, I'll do mine.
All right. I hear you.
So I gotta do yours. You'll tell me to do mine.
All right. I got you.
Okay.
Well, Mark, is there anything else? I think it's been a good show.
I don't think so. It's been a show. It's been a humdinger, as the kids would say.
So you're gonna separately put up my reaction to the Nicolas Cage?
I'll see. I might just cut it to the point where we start the trailer and then end it right when the trailer ends and just keep it going. We'll see how it goes.
Or you can leave it in, or do.
Yeah. I'll do that voodoo that I do so well.
All right. Well, everybody, you can follow us on Twitter, Geekonomics on Twitter.
Yep. Like if you're watching this, hopefully you're on our Facebook page. If not, you're on our YouTube page. So go to either one, like, subscribe, and say hello. We'd like to hear from you. Give us your Scarlet Witch, your WandaVision theories. Let us know what you got. If anything you got coming up that you think's going to happen, let us know. We'll talk about it. We want you guys to get involved in the show. We don't want to just keep talking to each other the whole time.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see you all back here next week. For Brian, I'm Mark. We'll see you all next week Good night.
I'm just gonna keep doing this. Good night.